Metasploit Minute is brought to you by viewers like you. If you get value from this show and can spare even $1, please consider contributing at metasploitminute.com.
Welcome to Metasploit Minute, the breakdown on breaking in. I'm your host, Rob Fuller, but you can call me Movies. Today on Metasploit Minute, we are going to be going over the post module that we already did, and we're going to just pare it down into something actually usable and repeatable and unfortunately not just Kirby.
You know, that's the unfortunate thing is, while scripts are awesome for doing things very specific and targeted to that one host.
And that one time.
We want to make something that anyone can use to change the Windows wallpaper to not just photos of my cat, but use your imagination, and you'll be able to.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can throw on someone's wallpaper, especially on April 1st.
Oh, there we go. So let's just dive right into the code then, huh?
Right, so we are already in our post module. We already have it loaded like our last episode. We already have a session that we can point it at, and we are going to go into it and start paring it down. So the first thing is that we can start removing is this. We don't need to do session equals client anymore, so let's remove that. We don't need that. I move this stuff over just to
make it pretty.
Right, so I'm going to move everything over.
Yeah, I was even going to say, like, that looks pretty hard-coded, /root, /
It is, so
Kirby.
we're going to start removing that stuff. So one of the things that we need is we need a BMP, a location for that bitmap file. So what we can already do is based, we can remove based completely. That's going to be gone.
All right.
I'm going to show how you can use that later. Just remember that based was our path locally on our attacker machine of where our bitmap was going to go. And this wallpaper, we're going to name it kirby.bmp for now. No, let's remove that too. So how we're going to remove that and why we're going to remove that is because we are going to actually add another variable. And we're going to scroll out so we can actually see this, called opt string. And this is just basically a string that we're going to have it, so it's what it's going to be called on the actual target host. So we're going to call it, what would be a good name for the wallpaper wall name? And I'm sure you guys can think of better names for these things. There's a variable called wall name. All right, so then we're going to set the default to true because you're going to need, let's set it to false for now. So this means that you don't actually have to set this variable.
So will we have like a default where if you don't pass it that, it'll make it Kirby because you didn't give it a value?
Perfect, exactly.
There we go. See?
So what we're going to do is say name of wallpaper on victim. That's it. And what you could do there is specify
So you're saying that you don't even need to actually print out all of that stuff. It knows that since this is a variable that you can set, when you do show options, it's going to tell you this is the help for it.
Yep. So when you have show options, like here's the actual thing that we had here. Path to file to upload and set. That's exactly what it says right here.
That's kind of rad.
Yeah. So
I see what you're saying about as opposed to a script, a post module just makes it so much easier.
Right. So we've actually removed 3 lines already. Right. So we're paring this down. This key, it's just ATKCU, so we already have this here. We're going to actually remove that completely. We don't need that. And this is a nice note for us, the based. I'm going to zoom in just a bit. So this based is, we're going to just keep this here for right now, just because it's good knowledge to keep. And the BG color, that sets the actual background color later on. It actually doesn't look like it does ever, so we're going to just remove that for now. Goodbye. Refresh command, we're going to keep this here, but we're going to replace it later.
Okay.
So refresh command, that's normal, that's going to stay there. And the delay, I don't think we need a delay for anything. Upload image, all right, so this is where we get to start having fun. So this client fs file path expand path stuff is great, but there's actually easier way to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grep through the modules directory in the post modules, and I can even go into Windows. Let me zoom in a little bit there so you guys can see it. So inside of there, we're going to grep for expand, just so that we can find this stuff. And look, there's expand path. Boom. So no client file stuff. We can actually just go whoop, goodbye. Save some space.
Right.
Now we don't.
Now we've got that expand path there as well.
And how you can find that out without having to do all that stuff is you can go to rubydoc.info/github/rapid7/Metasploit framework MSF post. And inside here, you get to see all of the awesome post libraries that are available. So you have file, and then Windows you can expand out, LDAP, PowerShell, priv, process, railgun, registry, all of this fun stuff.
Yeah, these are all of the ones that you were talking about where you added them. It was what, : registry and :
Yep.
file.
Yep.
So the file one lets you, what, I guess, manipulate files, and
Yeah.
the registry one, obviously that.
In a very, very cross-platform way. So whereas with the Metasploit scripts, or the interpreter scripts, I would have to do that uniquely for different types of stuff. So if I get a command shell instead of an interpreter session, I have to figure out how to write a file with that, right? So I have to echo it. Whereas with
Gotcha.
this, it's going to know that it's a command shell instead and run that, echo it in.
That's wicked.
So this is where you can find out more about all of those scripts or all of those methods.
Hooray for documentation.
Right? So there's write file. Okay, let's keep that in mind for write file. So we're going to get a temp directory. Expand temp, random. Let's just keep that. That makes a random value for our temp directory. Leave that there. I thought we removed some of this. Delay, we did. Oh, this is back in set wallpaper. Okay, so that's there. Refresh command. So we're going to tab this in so that we know that we're all done with that. Print status. And the cool thing about this is you can actually do vprint status, which means only in verbose mode. So if you want a lot of stuff to be printed out.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so this way you can have it so that it's very minimal unless you want more, right?
That's rad.
All right, so then we have client.makedir. That I think you can actually pull this down to make dir, but I'm not sure. We can just leave that there for now. And we type in session instead because we got rid of, so client's gone. We're going to just use session. And we're going to change this to a vprint just so that we only do it when we want to. File new. So this is the right file. Look at this. It's way too much stuff, right?
So you've got like 2 lines.
3 lines.
3 lines, and all they do are upload a file.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this to write file. We're going to keep that quote. We're going to remove that. And that based is there. So we got to make sure what we're going to do is get that temp directory instead, right? So kill that, and that write file is going to work. And we're going to just, you know what? That's not going to actually work. So it needs, let's go back to the documentation. So write file needs a file location and then the data, or the file name and the location and the data. So that's not the file size. We don't need the file size anymore. All right. So file read based. So this : file is reading from local. That's Ruby built-in script. So that is actually fine. But the based is what we're going to use, and we're going to say instead of this, we're going to use data store BMP. So that means it's going to read from our option that the user set and the BMP. Okay, so that, and then what we're going to need is the actual location we're going to upload to. So what we're going to...
And we had just created that random directory.
Well, no. Yeah, the random directory plus the wall name, right? So we're going to go back over to delete user because this has a really cool little thing in here where it says if something's set, right? Delete user,
username, target server, question target server.
Yeah.
What's that question target server
If
mean?
target server does not exist, target server is nil.
Then, oh, so we're going to use the same thing here.
Yep,
and we're going to say if wall name, and then if question mark wall name is Kirby.
Right. So we're going to go back up here, paste that in. And what we're going to do is say tempter equals, oops, not tempter, path, just name it path. Pathter equals data store wall name. And then if data store wall name makes it nil. We don't want nil. We want it to be Kirby, right?
Right. Yeah. No, we're just going to go ahead and make it Kirby.
Kirby.bmp.
Right. And then this way we just couple that bitmap file with the post module.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we then put in here, so this file, right, is path tempter plus path. And that's it.
So right file is it.
Right file is it. So, and this path we're going to actually need, so yeah, we might need a couple slashes in there, but we can do testing with that.
Sure.
Okay. So then we set this registry key. I don't like setting registry keys.
Why not? Can you just pass it a .reg and have it execute that?
I can,
is
but
that
then
like a hacky way to do it?
I have to upload the file, then execute a command. I don't like executing commands. And this down here, this session.sys.process, if we go back over to the post modules over here, you can see that Windows, oops, under sys, I'm sorry. Where is it? It's not in there. Anyways, it's in somewhere else. So I'm going to scroll back out. So this is not a very good way of doing things because it didn't work in RDP. Mm-hmm. It's a registry write, and we can actually keep this set val stuff because it's actually part of the file registry stuff. And we can keep all this, but I don't like to. Like, I want to make it even more useful. So what we're going to do is remove all of it.
All of it.
Okay. Yeah, all of it. And the great thing is that I found this awesome little thing over, where is it? This script. It was a Stack Overflow post in just a couple of years ago that says that you can use a system parameters info action. It's an API call to actually set the wallpaper and have it update automatically. So what I did was I pulled out registry. Or I'm not the registry. I pulled out the Railgun call for it, so system info, and I think that's an A. So session.railgun.user32.system parameters info. I'm sorry. And if you remember from our Railgun episode, this is basically calling the Windows API call directly from Metasploit, from inside of Interpreter. So this 20, and then Kirby was actually from that script. So you can see that 20 is set desktop wallpaper, 1 and 2 equals 3. Update INI file and send when INI file changed. This actually sends the update change. And you can see that in their script, this is a PowerShell script, it actually adds these together. That's why I get a 3. Okay?
So you're just taking advantage of that.
I'm adding
script.
It together, yeah. So if you actually submit this to Metasploit, they're not going to like the hard-coded values, right? They're not going to like the seek or the 20, the 0, the 3. You have to explain what those are. But for our sake, for now, what we're going to do is just hard-code these in for now. And then we can make variables out of them and explain them later if we want to. All right, so this does say C:temp this, but what we're going to do is say, just like we did our write file, tempter plus path.
Nice.
Okay? And that should be it. So our 45-line script is down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And because that's actually the part that's doing the stuff. Everything else is just making it pretty and extensible,
Yeah,
so that
and
anybody
we
else
have-
can like change the options and get verbose output and things like that.
Yep.
It's niceties.
Yeah, and there's actually 2 outputs for just text. So we actually have only 6 lines that we actually have to do this in. So let's see if it actually works. So reloads the module. So let's see if this actually works. Show options. There's our BMP, set BMP to root Kirby.bmp. Set wall name. No, you want to set the wall name or not?
I mean, does it matter?
It will upload it as Kirby either way.
Yeah, so either way we win.
Okay. So, and you can see that in the required section, it does say no.
It says no, so we don't have to do it. Let's not do it.
All right, set our session to 4, because that's the session we have. Let's just verify. You can see every module now has a verbose setting, so now you can see that our verbose is set to false. So it's not going to actually show those outputs.
Yeah,
So,
fantastic. So we could actually just do that globally and see the verbose output for all of our stuff.
Right.
That's pretty wicked.
So rerun. Let's go back over to our RDP so we can see the change to our Kirby. Oh no.
Oh, it failed.
Variable unknown wallpaper. So where did we use wallpaper?
You used the word wallpaper somewhere.
Ah, we used it in the print status for uploading wallpaper. What we can do is say, I'm just going to upload wallpaper. I'm just going to name it wallpaper. So it didn't know what wallpaper was because we left that from the script previously, and so we're going to rerun it again. Post module completed, and it did not work. So let's see where that file went. So we go into temp, and it should have created a random string name somewhere. Let's set verbose. So
that's the file. So it's
Yep.
RUH. So we're looking for that.
Let's scroll in. RUH.
Ah,
See, there are slashes.
So
I told you.
this
the
is what's
slashes.
happening is because you're adding the path and the wallpaper
Yep.
name, but it's concatenating them instead of making it with the slash.
Right. So what we're going to have to do is very simply just say that. Let's scroll into that or zoom into that. So plus whack whack. There. So then we do that over here too. And this isn't great coding. You should actually set this somewhere else. But now that we know that that's the problem, and that's what's great about the verbose versus not verbose, and you can set things to kind of be debugging if you want. So we're going to go back over here, and we're going to close down that. And Kirby,
Instantly.
it actually works, right?
Instantly, that's fantastic.
So, no logging out, no logging back in, and our script is down to 6 lines of code, technically.
Yeah.
Right? So that's awesome, and now that you see the power of post modules, right? So we have the ability to set the wallpaper name on the target we want, so we don't have to have it Kirby.bmp if we don't want to, or the BMP. And we could actually make this into a much more
Fleshed out post module. Yeah.
fleshed out.
Totally get that. I mean, if we want to change the
start submitting
colors
it.
and all that
Right.
stuff, yeah, we could even submit this so that everybody can enjoy the wonder that is having
Kirby.
Mica on their desktop. That's
Exactly.
really epic. I can't wait to hear some of the comments from this stuff because you've basically taken a script that is specific to one host and now made it so that anybody can use it across whatever hosts.
Right.
And where can people do that? Where can people leave us feedback?
At metasploitminute.com or on our YouTube channel.
Or they can email us msf@hack5.org.
And I do want to say a huge thank you to Victor and Jacob for plus winning it for this module idea. It's great. I loved getting back into the wallpaper setting. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I also want to just mention to everybody that's like enjoying the Metasploit minutes as they are,
the multiple minutes,
the multiple minutes. That there's a very simple way that you can support the show to make sure that it continues coming directly to you, and that's really simply by going to patreon.com/Mubix, M-U-B-I-X, or you can go to metasploitminute.com and find all of the options so that you can subscribe and support the show. And I just have to say that it's really heartwarming to see that here you are in the the Hack5 warehouse making more shows. Season 5 is alive.
Yeah, because of the Patrons. It's awesome.
Fantastic. So let's continue to make this happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really appreciate all the support everyone's given me for this show. It's really awesome and humbling.
And if you want to get even more hands-on with Metasploit, Mubix is going to be here. You're going to be doing a little bit of training.
Sometime in June, right?
Yes, June 26th. It is our inaugural show. It is our very first training seminar. It is what we are lovingly calling pen testing with Hack5. So if you're down with pen testing, if you're down with Hack5, come on out, sign up. You can find all of the ways to get that at hack5.org/training, and that gives you 3 days with 3 epic instructors, including Mubix here.
Yep.
So that you can learn all sorts of stuff about Hack5 gear, learn wireless auditing with Wi-Fi Pineapple. You can learn social engineering with USB Rubber Ducky.
Come out and break into stuff.
Break into stuff, yeah. Learn some Metasploit. It's going to be epic. You can find all the details and all the course description and all of that stuff over at hack5.org/training, but wanted to clue you guys in on this because it is the first run, and so very special pricing, especially for our Metasploit Minute fans. So yeah,
and
check
limited
that out.
seating.
Yes,
we don't. The warehouse is big, but
hey,
not.
it'll look a lot nicer. It's going to be pretty epic. So yeah, check that out.
So thanks a lot, and I'm Mubix, and I will be hacking till the cows come home. Thank you very much.